Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.
Well, you know, once you see this face, it's the last Monday with SKNYPA, with my co-host, Natasani.
My name is Chosania Douglas. I am a general member of SKNYPA and also chair of the training committee.
Chosania, what's the theme for tonight's show?
It's someone's world.
All right. Special thanks to Events Extraordinaire for creating our wonderful set design for tonight. Chosania. We encourage you to follow our social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at SKNYPA, as well as ZIZOnline, Facebook, and YouTube to follow us. We'll have a short break, and we'll be back with our first woman. See you soon.
Hello, and welcome to Event.
Here are your Hostel's Value Mart IGA specials for March 23rd through April 5th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Almond Breeze, almond milk, just $9.99. Essential Everyday Salsas, just $9.99 each. Gatorade, $8.99. Country Cock Margarine, $27.99. Super Chill Sodas are just $6.99. Essential Everyday Freezer Bags, just $7.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. IGA and Essential Everyday Chunk Light Tuna, Water and Oil, $3.49. IGA and Essential Everyday Cornflakes, $8.99. Almond Hammer Liquid Detergent, $19.99. Dawn Dish Liquid Detergent, $13.99. Almond Hammer Deodorant, $7.99. VO5 Shampoo and Conditioner, just $5.49. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Hello, and welcome to Event Extraordinaire. Today we wanted to introduce you to our sparkler boxes. Our sparkler boxes are customized to fit any occasion. And today we wanted to show you what exactly comes in a themed party sparkler box. So, here goes! Each sparkler pack contains enough items to have a party for 6 persons. So, in addition to all the regular parts that come with a sparkler party, as in the cups, the spoons, the plates, and even the horns, we wanted to let you know that you also get masks. You get invitations, there are party hats, there's even a party banner, there's your usual loot bags, you get a tablecloth, and you even get blowers. Our sparkler boxes are available in a variety of themes. There's Spider-Man, Frozen, Paw Patrol, Minnie Mouse, Peppa Pig, any theme that you can imagine, Events Extraordinaire is here to supply. Please visit us today. We are located in Camps next to the 24-hour gas station. Our numbers are 767-6977 or 663-6227. Events Extraordinaire. Let's add the sparkle to your event.
We're back with our first guest, Mrs. Tricia King. I'll let her introduce herself.
Okay, so my name is Tricia King. I am officially the first female marine biologist in St. Kitts-Nevis. Last year, I was also awarded the National International Women's Day prize for Blue Economy, and this year I was awarded by the Guyana Environmental Youth Group as an ecofeminist for the Caribbean.
So love that, love that, love that.
Okay, Tricia, so What does International Women's Day mean to you?
Okay, so International Women's Day really signifies a moment in time where we could stop and appreciate the contributions of women gone before us, and also to recognize the women that are operating in spaces currently, and also to create a template of how to really celebrate yourself for women in our future, so for our young girls.
Understood. So as the first female marine biologist, how did it feel stepping into that light and not having even like a manual to follow? Do it this way, do it that way.
So I actually created my own terms of reference.
Right.
Because again, there was, no one in that space before me who operated, especially with my interests. So I have special interests with marine managed areas and marine protected areas, and I also do habitat monitoring. So again, there was no one that was specific to that role in my workspace. So I literally had to create that template.
That's so cool. I feel like that is so cool. You're able to mold it to what you want to see it as.
Yes, so that was a really good opportunity, because then nobody kind of told you what to do. I literally carved out what I wanted to do and what I liked to do, and got paid for that.
As it should.
Now you are able to set an example for any young girls who are interested in
young
this
girls
field.
or young boys.
Yes, of course.
I'm going to, because I have mentors from both genders, so yes.
Okay. So what opportunities have you been afforded as a result of your degree in marine biology?
Okay, so earlier I was talking with some of my friends, and we were going through all of my travel experiences, and we realized that I've actually been on every continent to do work except Australia and Antarctica.
That sounds like just now.
So that's my bucket list to go to, and I already have mapped what I want to see when I go to Antarctica, which species, what type of research. So I'm already putting it out there, so I know it will happen.
Just I feel like you should pick up marine biology.
Yeah, you should.
You should.
So marine biology or maritime studies, any one of those blue economy based interests.
So when you see me calling your phone?
Yes. I remember I already have you down to help with turtle camp.
I'm so excited.
Yes. So yes. I done reeling her in.
Okay. I know that you're in a male-dominated field. What fights or battles did you have to overcome to get to where you're at today?
What currents I had to swim through?
Right. The storms and all of that, right.
And
the rough waters.
The rough waters. Okay, part of it is dealing with certain stakeholders. So, for example, I remember very early on, there was a fisher, but we don't say fisherman anymore, we say fisher folk, right? So there was a fisher. So there was a fisher who said, oh, you know more about the ocean than me. And I said, remember, my degree wasn't to sit down in the class and study. It was in the ocean. I actually had to swim. I actually had to function in the ocean in order to make sense of what I was studying. And so after that, then he was like, okay, cool. He kind of eased off. And when I first went out on a fishing boat for work, and we went like 12 miles off the coast of St. Kitts-Nevis, and you're literally just looking back, and it's just like, you see
like a little peak,
the shape, just the little shape of it, and I was like, it's just.
Where did you find the courage?
I think it's not. It's courage. Yes, it's courage.
I definitely think it's courage. Because you wouldn't find me out there.
But to me, it's just wonder. Like literally, it's just you and God and whatever whales passing and whatever barracudas in the ocean. So, I mean, yes, it's probably courage, but it feels like interest and fun and intrigue. So I don't categorize it as courage, but I get what you're saying.
I feel like the sounds alone would trip me out. Like, no. Not me at all. But
sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. I remember that same, so my grandmother is really afraid of the ocean, like most persons have some level of fear of the ocean. And I remember when I came back, I was telling her, oh, you know, Mama was swimming with some barracudas and stuff. She was like, why? Why you have to go in the water, right? And I was like, but Mom, they give us some cool. And there were like 12 barracudas swimming around, and we were taking pictures of what is known as a FAD, a fish aggregating device. So it means fish come to a particular spot when we put something in the ocean. And I just thought that was so cool, you know?
So you never reach out one day and you tell your mother, oh, I have to do something tomorrow. And she tell you, I had a dream.
So that's my grandmother. But she actually, my grandmother, was very consistent in trying to convince me to become an eye doctor every step of the way that I was doing my degree. So every semester. Every semester.
But
She'd
why
be like, you sure you want to change? Because she had cataract.
Oh, okay.
So that was, and I used to help her, you know, like with her eyes and stuff. So that was
She
her.
thought that's what you wanted to do?
Like even senior year, she's like, you sure you want to do this? I'm like, yes. Yes, I'm definitely. And I remember my first trip was to Belize, and I got the opportunity to swim in Shark and Ray Alley, and so I followed like pods of sharks around, and it was so cool. It was so
No.
No, sir.
And I remember I came home and I bought her, you better believe it, you better Belize it postcard with a shark on it. And I was like, Mom, you like this postcard? And she was like, that's a shark. You went in the ocean. I knew it. And I was like, yes. I was like, wow, it was so much fun. You know, and I had to explain to her all that I saw. And there's something called a dog snapper. And when I was studying in ichthyology, like, you know, a dog snapper, okay. But we see the juvenile size here. When I was in Belize, I saw a pit bull face on a snapper. And I was like, that's why they call it a dog snapper. I got it right away. So, yes.
We have the same definition of a pit bull? Because I can't imagine a pit bull and a fish.
Listen, it looked like a cartoon.
And you said I watched the pit bull and the
I was
fish?
swimming and I was calling people and showing them. So.
And you really asked if it's really courage?
Huh? Oh,
It is.
Because not me. But we know. Both me and Josan, you know, that you're a woman of many trades. How do you strike that balance between those many things and also the marine biology side of life?
So, I combine them. My junior science seminar was using dance to teach biology. So, as the director of the Angelique Dance Company, we now do awareness to dance, and it covers social issues and also environmental issues. So I literally just combine my science brain and my artsy brain to function. Even when I'm doing jewelry or paintings, I do the same thing. So for May, which is, there's a celebration where every day in May, you actually do like a mermaid-inspired painting or drawing, whatever art piece. And so, I like that one. And so that's one of my favorites. And so I actually did that, and what I did for that year was every day, based on the painting, I would actually highlight some ecological fact about St. Kitts-Nevis, so that persons learned through the art pieces as well about the marine environment.
Oh, wait, Teresa, well, somewhere out there, right, there's a little girl at home with dreams to become a marine biologist. What do you have to say to that little girl?
Dive in. Literally dive in. Focus on your sciences, of course, you'll need them. And just explore. Even if you do marine biology, there's no, because it can be such a general degree that you can actually specialize in so many different areas. Just this evening, I was playing a voice note, and Kaidrian Otley, he's studying at University of the Virgin Islands, go Bucks. And he actually sent a voice note thanking me for doing the Reef Guardian program and the experience that they learned there. And what the Reef Guardian program is, it's a mix between learning theory and practical in-water exercises. With Kydrian's cohort, I remember the Tuesday morning, there was, they learned about turtles, and then we went to Frigate Bay in the afternoon, and there was a green sea turtle in the water. So right away, everybody was all excited. They got to snorkel around and see that, and just that interaction really kind of propelled them to, well, they have to pass 90% in order to get a certificate.
Ooh.
So they really focused on the information, but they were able to because they experienced it. So it wasn't just learning. It
wasn't just the books.
Yeah, it just wasn't book knowledge, but they experienced it. And so I think we had maybe 2 persons who didn't pass, but we have about 90 persons who passed.
Love
I
that.
think 3 cohorts now.
Big
for the
numbers.
Yes, so it's really good. And out of that, we have about 6 to 7 persons currently studying marine biology in different universities across the Caribbean, and there's one that I know of, and there's one in Northern Europe.
Sounds like good things for saying Kitts-Nevis, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
Tricia, thank you for coming here tonight to speak to us, as well as the viewing audience. We will be right back with more Youth Lounge with SKNYPA.
Easter is coming, and that means it's time to do some spring cleaning. It's time to upgrade and refresh your home today and save up to 30% off store-wide. Change off that old lounge chair, dining room table, or any furniture item now and save big. Plus, shop our large selection of appliances, televisions, and electronics for the biggest deals. No cash, no problem. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and pay $0 for 30 days. And before you check out, don't forget to add extended warranty with our Quartz Super Shield product, which will protect your purchase for up to 4 years. This offer is available online at shopquartz.com for a limited time only. Act now before the deals are gone. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing, but hope is remaining. And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are. One climate, one Caribbean. One climate, one Caribbean.
Welcome to Kiwidan. Come on in. At Kiwidan Couture, we greet you with a smile. And on top of that, we have great fashion. We have clothing for boys and girls, as well as adults. We have dresses, skirts, blouses. We also have shirts for men. At Kiwidan, we also provide the service of custom-made clothing, so persons can bring their fabric and their style to get something made. And we also provide the service of alterations. Since I've had National Bank's point-of-sale machine, customers do not have to worry about having the exact amount of cash. If they see something they like, they can just purchase it. They do not have to worry about going back to the ATM. For your next special event, I invite you to try Kiwidan Couture. We will make you something fantastic. Hi, and welcome to Events Extraordinaire. I'm Candice Franklin, and I'm the Managing Director at Events Extraordinaire, where we believe in adding the sparkle to every event. At Events Extraordinaire, we specialize in event planning, event management, photo shoot decor, just about any event that you can dream up, we can execute. Events Extraordinaire is located at OOJJ's Commercial Complex, which is right next to the 24 Hours gas station in Camps. So stop by anytime and you can partake in what we have to offer.
Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.
Hello and welcome to Event Extraordinaire. Today we wanted to introduce you to our sparkler boxes. Our sparkler boxes are customized to fit any occasion. And today we wanted to show you what exactly comes in a themed party sparkler box. So here goes! Each sparkler pack contains enough items to have a party for 6 persons. So in addition to all the regular parts that come with a sparkler party, as in the cups, the spoons, the plates, and even the horns, we wanted to let you know that you also get masks, you get invitations, there are party hats, there's even a party banner, there's your usual loot bags, you get a tablecloth, and you even get blowers. Our sparkler boxes are available in a variety of themes. There's Spider-Man, Frozen, Paw Patrol, Minnie Mouse, Peppa Pig, any theme that you can imagine, Events Extraordinaire is here to supply. Please visit us today. We're located in Camps next to the 24-hour gas station. Our numbers are 767-6977 or 663-6227. Events Extraordinaire. Let's add the sparkle to your event.
In the lounge, and I will allow them to introduce themselves.
Okay, so I am Janelle Lake. I don't have the privilege of saying that I am the very first of anything, but I am a woman in IT. So I don't get to be like Tracy and say, you know, I'm the first woman in IT. But I am a woman in IT, and I'm very proud of that. I'm here to represent this community on this show tonight.
Okay, good night, everyone. My name is Shea Claxton. I am a quality engineer at Surrey Paving and Aggregate. I'm a woman in engineering, and I think I would be the first transportation infrastructure engineer that we have in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Snap it up. Love that. Love that. Women doing big things. That's what that means. So to both of you, the theme for this year's International Women's Day is Digital. As women in STEAM and IT, by extension, how does this make you feel?
You have to take this one first? Yes, yes.
Okay. The theme, I would say, in one hand, it highlights the unfortunate reality that there are women and young girls who don't have access to technology or digital spaces. There's no access to technology, no access to internet, Wi-Fi. And that in return limits their opportunities to explore STEM fields. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, it actually highlights the challenge worldwide so that we can all work together to come up with solutions to fix it.
Yeah, I agree. Completely.
So if I may weigh in, I feel encouraged. I feel a little celebrated, you know, as a woman in IT. But I recognize that there are gaps that we even have to have a Women's Day, that we even have to have a Women in Technology Day. So while I'm cognizant of the fact that, you know, it's a good thing, it does highlight some significant gaps that we will address. We'll use conversations like these to try to close the gap between those in and those out, to encourage more in the field, because you might appreciate the saying that you can't be what you cannot see. And so we take the opportunity to be here today in forums like these, participating in conversations like these to help to encourage the next generation of women in our fields so that we could continue to say we're not the first, you know?
Yeah. And at the same time, it celebrates or recognizes women who are already putting in the work towards coming up with solutions to the problem.
And just to say, I mean, IT is a very viable career option, you know, not just for women. Men also, men don't feel left out. But it's a very viable career option, and we definitely want to shed some light on that. So thanks for giving us the opportunity to do that tonight.
Love that.
So what has the journey been like getting to where you are?
Oh, they just watch each other.
Guys.
I know, right?
You want me to say this
I will
one?
go
You
first.
go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead,
I
my
like
girl.
to say that I'm very green in my career. It's only been 3 or 4 years since I graduated.
Okay.
And this is actually my first job in engineering.
I love that.
So I'm very green. But it's been a rewarding journey when I look back and I see how much I've accomplished. It's very rewarding. But on the other hand, there have been challenges, more so during university, a bit of self-doubt and a bit of inferiority, especially in a class filled with males.
Right.
And I remember thinking at one point, you know, they grasp things so easily, they understand everything so easily. And I would say to myself, well, they are males, so, you know, it's kind of intuitive or natural to them.
Okay.
But
So
then,
you thought you weren't made for it?
yeah, exactly.
Understood.
But then, you know, I eventually believed in my capabilities and I knew exactly that I wanted to be an engineer, something I really wanted to do. So I just put in my all and I overcame all of those challenges, the self-doubt, the inferiority.
You know, the beauty of these conversations is my reality was a little different in that. So I was in fact among the few women in IT programs in school. I did not notice. I was not affected. It is only now.
Crazy.
I'm also not as young in my career as you are. So I've also been in my career for 11 years. So we have the one side, we have the other side of the coin. So I am a little more mature in my career. I am only now realizing the position that I was in. I'm only now realizing that I was in the minority of black students in my classes. I was definitely in the minority where Caribbean students were concerned. I was in the minority where females were concerned. I did not realize I was blissfully ignorant.
The fact that didn't faze you is crazy.
I wasn't fazed. Like I said, I was blissfully ignorant. I don't know what was going on around me, but it definitely did not deter me. I definitely had a goal for what I wanted to achieve. I knew what I wanted at the end of the day. And I put my blinders on, I focused on it, and here I am.
Wow. Well, to you specifically, we know that you're part of the married clique, right? How do you balance that work life, marriage life, family life? How do you do that? What's the secret?
This is a very good question, and this is a very good answer as well, if I do say so myself. So have you ever heard the saying, I know y'all are young, but you know, go with me here.
When you said 11 years, I had to watch the clock. I'm only 18.
Have you ever heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, y'all are not as young as that. So y'all know the saying. So the saying is true, and maybe I am still a child because I have the benefit of my village where this is concerned. So I have a very supportive family. I have a very supportive and encouraging family to help me along. I wouldn't say that it is because of me why I'm able to achieve all the things I'm able to achieve, because I'm not particularly organized. I'm not particularly, dedicated to the things that I say I'm going to do. I am a little bit, but I do have the support of a really encouraging family. My husband's family, my family at home, my own parents and my family, this niece of mine here. I definitely credit them with being able, with helping me to achieve all the things that I've been able to achieve, and able to split myself in the many pieces I'm able to split myself into to achieve the things that I'm able to achieve. So I do have that benefit of a really strong and supportive village.
All right, see, it takes a village to raise a child.
It
all
does.
these years later, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
So, Shia, statistically, what are the numbers in terms of women in STEAM? And what do you think of them? And how do you expect them to grow in the next couple of years?
Well, based on an article I read recently, there is about 1/3 of women in the STEAM workforce. which is very sad, but it's reality. And what I think could be done to improve that, like what we're doing now, we're having these forums where we can showcase that women are actually involved in STEAM. We can continue to support young ladies like you and whoever else is watching, support anyone who has a dream of working in STEAM, show them that it can be done. It definitely can be done. Don't be afraid. It definitely can be done.
Reach out and grab it.
Yes.
Okay, Janelle. When it came to you coming back and being able to get a job in IT, was that a tussle or was it just, here it is?
You know, I actually consider myself to be really fortunate. As I mentioned, I went through my entire school life not realizing that I was among those in the minority. I felt really supported and encouraged in the field, and those good fortunes carried with me into professional life. I got the job that I had prayed for. I got a job where, right in technology, right on the cusp of it, I'm able to learn and to grow and be challenged on a daily basis. And I am surrounded by really encouraging and motivating persons across both genders. So I consider myself to be fortunate in that regard. I know that this is not the reality for others, and so I recognize that. And so I'm here to be an agent for women in technology, for those who are not in the same supportive environment that I am in, to let them know, you know, you continue to push, you continue to do what you have to do, continue to be motivated and dedicated. But I definitely was fortunate in that I stepped out into a really good and promising career with a really supporting professional cast around me.
And I think, not to cut in, but I think that's very important, especially when it comes to companies or employers who wish to be diverse. Sometimes they wish to be diverse, but they don't create an environment for the woman to stay in that career path.
Correct.
So that's definitely something that employers or companies have to look at.
Understand, Shio? I know you're a dancer.
Yes, I am.
A very great one, if I must say so myself. During your school life, how were you able to tap into that creative side through dance?
I never stopped dancing. Never. There was no exam, there was no assignment that stopped me from dancing.
Really?
I danced all throughout my academic career.
Wow.
And I think it helps me to stay focused, because being a well-rounded individual is very important. You can't always be strict on the academic path. You need that balance. You need that life balance. And it helped me to study well. It helped in time management. It helped in being dedicated to what I have to do, because I know, okay, I have an exam tomorrow, but I also have dance practice for a performance coming up. Let me focus on studying or getting this assignment done so that I can go to my dance practice comfortably,
not worrying
about what I haven't done yet or what I still have to complete for that assignment or for the exam.
So, based on what you said there, I can assume that you are pro activities during school.
Yes.
As in, you know, your mother sent your music class because you feel like you need something
There were
to do.
extracurricular activities.
Right.
I was always involved in different things. All throughout primary school, I was always involved in concerts, quizzes, competitions, anything
There was a
that
balance
the school
of
had,
academics and
anything that the school
extracurricular.
had, I was there.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So it's very important to have a balance.
I love that. Well, as we wrap up, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? You having the knowledge that you have now, what would you say to your 18-year-old self?
Well, the thing, fun fact, Shia is my dance teacher, so she really has not stopped dancing.
Love that.
Yes, I am. See you in class on Saturday.
Okay,
We're learning our ballet routine.
come early.
On the spot. Look at that.
Okay, I'm not too far from 18, but
I'm sure Janelle would say the same.
Guilty.
As I mentioned before, there was a bit of self-doubt and inferiority when I first started university. So I would like to tell my younger self that things may become overwhelming and there will be many, many reasons to question why I chose a career path in engineering, why I chose to study engineering. But I feel now that it's definitely one of my many purposes here on earth. So just stick with it and you'll definitely overcome all of the challenges.
Found your niche.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would have to tell my 18-year-old self to understand who you are an agent for. So, as I mentioned earlier in my dialogue, I didn't realize until I was already very long in the tooth from a career standpoint that I was an agent for women in IT. Had I known this, had I known there was such a void, I would have started speaking out from long ago. Okay. But I blissful ignorance. So I was just sitting down in these classrooms, one of a few women, one of a few black women, certainly in many cases the only Caribbean woman. And I did not realize that I could be an agent for the other young black Caribbean women back in my own country who had an interest in the same things as me and who didn't think that they had an opportunity or that there was a way for them. So I would definitely tell my 18-year-old self, you are an agent for someone. Go out there and speak to these people who you represent and encourage them.
Well, I'll tell you this, you are the reason why I do IT.
Thanks, Malika.
Okay, thank you so much for being on your Lounge with SKNYPA. We hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
We'll be back from a short commercial break. Be sure to follow SKNYPA's social media platforms as well as ZIZO's social media platforms.
Want to get away? Now you can.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now. Not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases, such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need some help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse. What can I do? We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in CARIFORUM, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
Hi, and welcome to Event Extraordinaire. I'm Candice Franklin, and I'm the Managing Director at Events Extraordinaire, where we believe in adding the sparkle to every event. At Events Extraordinaire, we specialize in event planning, event management, photo shoot decor, just about any event that you can dream up, we can execute. Events Extraordinaire is located at OOJJ's Commercial Complex, which is right next to the 24 Hours gas station in Camps. So stop by anytime and you can partake in what we have to offer.
Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.
Welcome back. We are here again with two beautiful women who will introduce themselves.
Good evening. My name is Carlene Tellisford. I'm CEO for Digital St. Kitts and Nevis.
Hi, I am Iseline Phillip. I'm a Senator and Minister of Gender Affairs, Social Development, Youth Empowerment, Aging and Disabilities for the federal government, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Wow. I'm on board.
I wish my title was longer.
I wish I could sit down and introduce myself that way. Okay, as women in leadership, what does International Women's Day mean to you?
Okay, I'll go back. Well, I see it as a movement that allows us to elevate ourselves, celebrate ourselves and each other. Celebrate the fact that we continue to break that, I don't want to curse, bloody glass ceiling in a world where we're still, in some cases, trying to decide whether or not women deserve paid maternity leave. Right?
Wow. Okay.
So I think that this is a really good opportunity to remind the world of who we are and our strengths.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think I echo the sentiments, and I would add, for me, when I think about International Women's Day, I think it's really a great time for us to think about and reflect on women's role and function in society and, just kind of development and civilization. So, think about where we have come from. It's just in terms of our ability and access to certain things and to where we are now. We're talking about women in leadership and, we're seeing women in a lot more spaces that we didn't exist before. And so just kind of reflecting and honoring how we have been able to transgress a lot of things. I think International Women's Day is really like a reflection and a celebration of all of those things.
I completely agree.
Agreed, yeah.
Okay, Iseline, so with the number of women in politics currently being at its highest, how does it feel to be a part of that said number?
So for me, it's multiple things. So I feel actually very honored to be able to have this opportunity at this time. Similarly, I feel very blessed to be able to be a part of the history making, where we actually have, for the first time, the highest number of women in the federal government and cabinet in the National Assembly. I think, I'm also, feeling very eager to also make my own mark, to be able to contribute to the impact and, to be able to inspire others. So, I feel multiple things, but, I think they're all on the positive end. So I just kind of embrace it all as it comes. And, I also feel very humbled, especially when I think about the women who have come before me to be able to allow me to be at this point where there's more than one of us. Because, I would have grown up in a time where there would have been only one. So, we, for sure, Her Excellency the J. Master of the Library stands out to me, especially particularly in the space of politics. We have other women like Jacinth Henry Martin and other women who were very active and vocal on the scene. So just to be able to stand on their backs and the work that they have done, it's kind of like very humbling in that way as well.
Okay, well, Kelly, specifically for you, in your field of work, what is the opposition like in terms of, from both women and men?
Who's opposing a 6'4" tall woman?
Sorry, I didn't mean to like, oh my God, I was not expecting that.
Okay, no, but in all seriousness, the one thing that I must be grateful for is the fact that Digicel is a very progressive company. In my West Indies region, so we have the markets clustered in different segments. So I'm a part of the West Indies region cluster. And there are 9 markets, 7 of which are run by women.
Love that. Women taking over, women becoming the majority.
So we have equal opportunity to be stressed.
Love that, love that, love that. Now, Aislinn, you said just now that you're able to leave your back. Time to time, do you feel the need to mimic the males in your field of work? Or do you just, come in with your femme flair? Like, this is me, this is who I am, and it's my way.
I love that, the femme flair. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily feel pressure to mimic, what, the male-dominant traditional space would have to offer. I really don't feel that. I do feel, just showing up authentically as myself. And just, I think with that, the feminine energy and the feminine perspective will also come. But, I also want to recognize that, I am a composite of a lot of things. So, I'm also young, and, I also have a background in a certain expertise. I also have a certain perspective based on my upbringing and the things I've been involved in, the places I've been. And I want to believe that I am able to bring that as something different, as something unique, that is, of course, etched in, an identity that is, very feminine, which is different to what we would have been seeing traditionally. So I'm all about, contributing to shifting and changing the space and revolutionizing what we consider leadership to be and the different approaches that we may take to certain decision-making processes. So, no pressure, just kind of trying to show up as myself every day.
So you're adding that feminine flair. That's what I got from that.
Yes.
Now, Carleen, similarly, almost the same question for you. I'm sure that the blueprint before you wasn't a feminine one.
No, of course not. When I started my career in Digicel in 2016, the CEO was male, the head of the business sales division was male, the head of retail was male. So I had, I suppose, a lot of intimidating factors at play there, right? But I think the biggest thing to impact me during that time was my own self-limiting beliefs, right? So it took me a lot to get to where I am today. But back then, I would think, and I can draw an example, 6 months into my role as commercial executive, that's after joining the company, I was promoted to marketing manager, and he, the previous one, was male. So immediately I'm telling myself, can I fill his shoes? Can I do as good a job as he did? Not realizing that there's obviously a reason why they selected me for the role in the first place, but I was not thinking in that regard. And even now, as a CEO, I am the youngest Digicel CEO in the business.
Love that you.
There are instances where I am intimidated by the CEOs who are more seasoned, with more years of experience. But again, there's a reason why I'm in this position. So I have to constantly bring myself back to this reality and say, okay, obviously you've been doing this. You haven't been sent home yet.
So you're made for this.
Correct.
Right.
So what are some challenges you would say you have faced climbing the ladder in Digicel? Yes.
Well, it's really down to me and my own self-limiting beliefs, as I mentioned, right? I think I had to, there's no way to really get comfortable jumping out of your comfort zone, but I had to try to do that every single time. And still tell myself, wake up each day, Carleen, you can do this. Yes, you have a challenge today, you're going to outfight. We wear many hats as CEOs. We're people managers, we're also aunties. My retail staff call me Auntie Carleen. You're also a firefighter, so anytime something goes wrong, you have to jump in with the fire hose, know exactly what kind of fire you're out in.
I still look like she had to out a few fires.
Like leadership, right, that's true. It's, it's just leadership.
You know? And you still have to find time to care for yourself. right? So when you wrap all of that in a neat little package, it's really not easy. But we have to convince ourselves that there's a reason why we were selected to do this, so just go and do it.
Understood. So we're all women, and I'm sure we've all had to face adversity, big or small. Do you think that even up to this day and age, we should be using the average man as the yardstick to measure the progress of a woman?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
but why
not.
Well, I mean, obviously the average man can't be the standard for, everybody.
Right.
So, we have to, they talk about diversifying things. That's really ultimately what we have to do. It's an unfair and unreasonable measuring standard if it's based just on one aspect of, human existence and society.
That's correct. And the mere fact that we're all sitting here as female leaders in various industries shows that, or demonstrates that we can do it just as well or even better than the men out there.
Y'all heard that? She said even better. She said even better. Great. Okay. Now, Aislinn, even from my young perspective, I know that usually when it comes to the government aspect of things, you usually see women as permanent secretaries, personal assistants, and those different stuff. But you being at the forefront of that government aspect, how can you inspire women to take up the I don't even know how to call it, but to take it upon themselves to step up to the plate?
Well, I mean, this is a big question, and that's actually something I ask myself every day. Because I think, I am new to this space, I'm also young in this space, and I also experience a lot of what, Karen was saying, that she was experiencing this in terms of, what they call imposter syndrome, oftentimes. Yeah. And so, I am the youngest member in a cabinet of ministers who have a lot of experience, and, I am, new female in a space that is, also new to having so much feminine energy at the same time. And so I think for me, I want to be able to do the work from a place with kind of an open-mindedness, but an open-mindedness that's willing to learn from obviously those who are senior, from my colleagues who have been there, who are the men. Because I think we often think, it has to be a competition between the men and the women. It doesn't. I think we can certainly learn. There are a lot of males who are very supportive, particularly in certain environments, and so I want to be able to bring an open-mindedness and a curiosity for learning and growing, and also doing it, from a place of in a hat for wanting to serve and to do better, and to support and to help. And so I would hope that in and of itself is just an inspiration to other women and other girls who just kind of want to say, oh, well, I see something that I think needs to get done. And instead of waiting for somebody else, I'll just, take myself up. I will volunteer. I'll put myself forward. I will express my interest to just get it done, regardless of whether I don't see anybody else reflected in that space. So, I would hope that I could be inspirational in that way. And I just seek to support and put a hand out anytime, anytime SKNYPA calls, I answer. And so I think, just things like that in my day-to-day. Just trying to be responsive and just to try to provide a leadership example that may be different and perhaps maybe hopefully more appealing to others, to inspire them to step forward.
Okay, well, I know for me, growing up, I always heard this saying, all work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. But as a woman, how do you balance that work life, play life?
Well, I feel bad, but I was like, so I am a single woman, I don't have any children, so it's really, for me, I guess, it's actually, for me, I think I have to think a lot more intentionally about how to not just work all the time, or not just think about work, or not just become, so I think it comes back to what Karen's in terms of self-care, how do you take care of yourself, so I am a big fan of self-care, so I try to reserve time where I just kind of enjoy being by myself. I'm actually an introvert, yet I'm in a position where I am very exposed to the public. And so just being at home is actually how I learn to balance. I like, being in my own space, like having quiet time. I actually like doing, the very boring things like reading. And like going to the beach for a swim. I enjoy fitness. I go to the gym when I can. And I obviously engage with like friends and company that I enjoy to be around when I can, of course. So I make it, I have to be very intentional. I do have to be very intentional about caring for myself, because recognizing that I'm in a space where I'm often thinking about and caring for others.
And Caroline?
I don't know why you had to ask the question about work-life balance. Because I'm horrible at it.
Really?
Sorry, I'm going to be honest.
You're a workaholic?
There are
you
days
just have no
when
choice?
I leave the office at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And I am so tired when I get home that all I can do is make a cup of tea, shower, brush my teeth, and go to bed. Right? Wow. So I've taken steps to help myself in that regard. So on weekends, I've decided, don't open your laptop until Sunday night. If the place is burning down, they will call you.
It's true.
I agree.
That's being intentional. You have to be like, no, not today. I try to do that too. Saturdays are my day.
But because we're wearing so many hats, it's a very demanding role. So we don't have it down pat, but I certainly do try.
Sounds like you're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, specifically you, Caroline, the service providers in St. Kitts-Nevis are all headed by women.
Yeah.
Do you think that this will inspire other women to take up leadership roles in other fields?
Absolutely, and I hope they do, because they should be able to see that we can do it and that they can as well, right? So we lead by example. And I want everyone to see that you don't need to have 50 years worth of experience to become a CEO, as I would have initially thought, unfortunately, to my naivety when I joined the company in 2016. But yes, I hope that they do see us, see all four of us, and think, wow, I can definitely do that.
Celine, do you have a message to give to any young girls or women out there who are afraid to take the next step in their career or to step outside of their comfort zones?
So advice that I would give, I would say, there is nothing to lose necessarily by taking a chance. I think, when we step out of our comfort zone, there's so much more to gain than we can imagine, because if we don't, we kind of run the risk of staying the same, and you kind of want to grow. So I would say, especially when you're young, that's really the time to take risks, because you really don't have that much to lose at that time. And so I would just say, if you feel afraid, do it anyway. And just make sure you know who you can go to for support and who will always help you. And you can always, at a young age, count on family and other friends in the supportive system. So just just take that risk, take the step, because you have a lot more to gain than you would ever think about losing.
And Caroline, what about you? What do you have to tell that little girl who hopes to one day take up a leadership position?
I think just do it,
yes.
Right? Just do it, because you will regret not taking the opportunity when you have it. And one of the things that I'm grateful for is the fact that I didn't say no to any opportunities that came my way, right? Like I said, I never thought that I would be a CEO at age 32. I'm now 33. So anyone, once the opportunity is there, just take it. Decide what you want and take the steps to work towards it. Don't be scared to fail, because failure is all a part of life. We all know this. Things will not go well every single day in your career, but as long as you persevere and you're resolute, you'll make it.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to come on the Youth Lounge with us.
Thank you.
And from this, I'm sure women, you can take from this that it's time for you to take up space.
Of course.
Don't stand in the corner anymore. Take up that space. Jump in that leadership role. This is our time. We'll be back soon with more Youth Lounge with SKNYPA.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing.
But hope is remaining.
That we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. One climate, one Caribbean.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or black cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now. Not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need to help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse. What can I do? We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in Cari Forum, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.
And we're back with our final, unfortunately, our final two guests this evening. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Okay, my name is Keandra Maynard. I'm the owner of Ojodi Organics. At Ojodi Organics, we make and sell organic hair care and skin care.
I am Kyla Brown. I am the owner of Beauty by Kai and the co-founder of That's My Sister. Beauty by Kai is a beauty business where we provide trainings, nail services for women in entrepreneurship or any woman who wants to delve into the beauty field. That's My Sister is a non-profit organization in which we help young ladies to understand themselves and for them to chart their course as leaders, women in society.
All right.
Okay, so to both of you, what does International Women's Day mean to you?
In my opinion, International Women's Day is an opportunity to celebrate the contributions of women in society, because a lot of the times that is lost on us. Sometimes women don't get the celebration that they deserve.
I have to agree with that. I was about to say celebration. One word: celebration. Celebrating women, ensuring that we understand that we are here. And even with my recent celebration for International Women's Day, I was honored by the cable. I think that sometimes you don't recognize the work that you're putting in, and it gives an opportunity for you to just stop, reflect, and bask in what you're doing. And I love that about International Women's Day. It's not that you're doing it for a trophy or doing it for anything in particular, but it really helps you to feel, celebrate yourself as a woman.
And that little trophy gives you the little push to realize that, I am that girl.
Definitely that girl all the way.
Well, both of you being entrepreneurs, I know with Kendra, you left your 8 to 4 steady income and decided to become an entrepreneur. With Kyla, on the other hand, you've never worked for anybody. What was that experience like in terms of the challenges and the doubt?
Okay, well, that is a tricky question, and I like to kind of track back with that, because my suggestion or my advice there, or even talking about it, may sound like, okay, well, I actually grew up in a household where all I saw was entrepreneurship, so just take caution with this information here. It's because it helps me to really understand who I am. And I feel like entrepreneurship is something that, even though it's challenging, I feel like that whole chant, that whole vibe, that whole running and doing everything that you have to do as an entrepreneur, because it's definitely a task. The challenges can seem like insurmountable, but it's something that you just get to learn who you are through it. You get to learn about other people as well, and that can look like scaling, that can look like hiring, learning yourself through people. So although it's challenging, I feel like it's something that allows me to understand me in the process and learn who I am.
Yes, honestly, I wish it was an 8 to 4.
Really?
A lot of the times it was 8 to 8, 8 to 9, 8 to 10. But it has been a beautiful experience. It has made me wonder why I didn't do it sooner. But it didn't come without its challenges. I have been a full-time entrepreneur for about 3 or 4 months now. And it has been a beautiful experience. Every day I'm learning something new about myself. I'm being challenged in ways that I've never been challenged before. It's all me now. In order for me to eat, I have to produce, and that's the type of challenge that I like. That is what's causing me to grow. In the past 3 months that I've been a full-time entrepreneur, I have grown more than I did in the past 6 years at my 8 to 4 job.
Well, you're living proof of what Kyla just said.
Yes, indeed.
Living proof. You're learning yourself as you go along.
What would you say to persons, or women in particular, who are afraid of taking the risk of opening their own business based on, we live in a small island.
Everybody doing everything.
Yes, and people are always going to have something negative to say, and you're more likely to hear it, especially because I think it's where it travels fast. So what would you say to them?
Just do it. You have to start somewhere. It's not going to be perfect, but just start. Any little thing. The first set of soaps that I made, I took some wax paper and I wrapped them, and I took a marker and I wrote on turmeric soap. So you have to start somewhere. Just do it. Forget all of the naysayers. You're doing it for you. And remember, in business, you're also providing value. It's not just something you're doing for yourself, but you have a contribution to society to make. So just do it.
I would say to think about your finances, for sure. I think that's the first thing. We have startup capital is one of the biggest challenges in business, and I want us to understand that. Think about what that looks like for you. What can that be? And with someone who was eagerly trying to chart the course of finance, even just recently outside of entrepreneurship, I think it goes hand in hand. So that's something to think about when it comes to starting your own business, along with, of course, just doing it. We have to understand that it's administrative as well as hard skills. So think about the soft skills, the hard skills that come with it, and you'll be well on your way.
Okay. Earlier we asked the guests about their work life, play life. Now as entrepreneurs, Kendra, you said it's almost like all the time.
Yeah.
How do you balance that work life, play life?
Honestly, I don't. For me right now, it's work, work, work. But I'm speaking to myself as well. Rest is a necessity. It's not a reward. So even since I've been a full-time entrepreneur, I've probably taken like 2 or 3 days off in total. And those days that I took off were riddled with guilt. Because I was not working. But I deserve rest. We all deserve rest. We all deserve play. So you have to give yourself that opportunity to do that.
So Kendra, you deserve rest.
Yeah. I do.
But to piggyback on what Kendra is saying, it's rest also gives you an opportunity to be creative, especially in the creative field. That I mean, and she's also in the creative side of things, such as to create products for the beauty industry. And even for persons who want to use it at home. So it's an opportunity for you to really get that creative juices out there,
to reflect,
flowing. But through reflection, because I am coming up on my first month ever taking a month off in entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur since I knew myself, 11 years old, 17 years in the game. So it's the first time I'm ever able to take that month.
Wow.
So my work-life balance is there. My friends argue that I am laser focused, although I do feel that I am able to spend time with friends, spend time with family, read. So I am huge on self-care and taking time for yourself. I love to read. I love to, I guess reading would be digesting information about business as well, but it's really something I enjoy doing outside of physically working, just feeding myself information and getting to know more of who I am as an individual, because without that mindset, without building who you are, building out you, and the theme for me tonight is clearly building myself and knowing myself, you cannot be successful in business, especially as a woman, because people will try to attack you. Your emotions are going to come into play because biologically we are wired to be more emotional and all these things. So you have to really get a grip on who you are and build that mental fortitude, or else it's over.
The cookie will crumble.
Yes.
Now, we recently enough went through the COVID pandemic. As business owners, how was that in terms of finding creative solutions to almost patch any cracks in the business at that time?
Well, I'll say this. Only the paranoid survive, and that's something I live by. And even before the pandemic, I've always been one to ensure that my savings and my finances were in order. So that meant for me avoiding debt like the plague. Even though I know some persons don't have that opportunity, I would avoid debt as much as possible. I know some things you can do it to set you off. So it's not that there's people say there are good debt, especially in business, and there's bad debt. So I would say avoid that bad one like the plague. And even over time, I had to recognize I was really laser focused in reducing any debt that I would have had. And that really helped me to have enough savings in place for me to keep that business afloat and making sure that I had everything going. And although I welcomed the rest, I wasn't really there like, I'm paranoid, like I'm not going to have a business ever. Again, I really welcomed that opportunity to rest. So COVID was a blessing for me, and because I had a contingency plan in place where I always had an emergency fund, and I always was keen on saving, thanks to my mother. Every piece of dollar I owned, she was like, to everything. So it really helped me to create that habit of always having that money aside. So,
well, Oja the Organics is a COVID baby, so I really didn't know what business was like pre-COVID.
Okay.
So all of the things that we were doing were during the COVID era. So basically it was doing the marketing during the lockdowns, and when we're open, for the couple days that we were open for, then that's when I would do the deliveries and things like that. So I don't know what
it's like pre-COVID.
Yes, I don't know.
So you were one of those people who were able to benefit from the COVID pandemic.
Right, definitely.
Okay.
What are some challenges you have faced as a female entrepreneur?
Specifically as a female entrepreneur, I'm not sure if the challenges that I face are gender specific. The only thing I can say specifically as a female entrepreneur is the gentlemen who are in your inbox, in your business inbox, not talking about business.
So that's still a challenge.
That's a challenge for sure.
Definitely a challenge. You're a woman.
Yes, I'm wondering if males have that issue as well.
Yeah, I would say to that. I mean, I don't have this issue, thankfully, but maybe because we cater primarily to women. I mean, I think that the business it depends on the business. I think if you're in real estate as a woman, that would also vary. And I mean, beauty. So I don't typically have to deal with a lot of men. However, I would say that I've had to learn that as a woman, I have to separate my emotions from everything. I remember going to a business forum and they spoke about emotions. You put them to the side. Master your emotions. And I feel we are, as women, biologically, like I said, we're a bit more emotional.
We're wired to be a little
we are wired to be that way, and we like to fight it. I think the feminists like to say, we can't put our emotions aside. And yes, we can if we train ourselves to. I don't think it comes as naturally for many as it does for the men, to be quite honest. And I think that's something I've had to personally work through and work on as I begin to scale and build my business and build myself as a businesswoman, because I began employing the term business when you ask me who I am, businesswoman, instead of saying beautician and whatnot, because I've had to learn to kind of put myself into that openly and as a whole versus just saying I am a beautician, because there's so much more than just being a beautician when it comes to me wanting to venture deeper, into the world of entrepreneurship, because it's not just about, for me at least, doing nails, but you have to manage people, you have to be able to scale your business, you have to be able to do more than just exchanging time for money as an entrepreneur.
Okay, well, Kyla, specifically you, as a co-founder of That's My Sister, how are you? In terms of the growth of young girls, how are you able to mold them in the right direction?
Being an example is one. I would say that thankfully I feel privileged that people look up to me for a lot of support, guidance, and mentorship. I also do it not only with That's My Sister, but in my business. I'm able to mentor young women to be women entrepreneurs within the field of beauty, and I also am able to get my community of support to assist me in doing that. So with That's My Sister, we invite a lot of women who are in powerful positions, women who can lead by example as well through their own life's work, to help these young ladies to be molded, for them to be mentored as well. So what we do is extend our mentorship community so that they can have that mentorship, they could have that guidance, they could have that example that they need as well.
Completely agree. And as PRO, follow That's My Sister on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes. Well, actually, it's also her sister, and she's benefited greatly from that initiative.
Most
so you can
definitely
see what we produce at That's My Sister. So,
Now, y'all are, well, I don't even want to say just beauticians, but y'all add that confidence to women's walk, say it that way. How does that make you feel?
Excellent. I mean, I think it's something that it's rewarding to just be able to see someone enjoy the experience, especially for me who deal directly with the ladies who are being beautified. I think that they come for relaxation, so they get that ticked off, relaxation. They also say that it's a therapy session, although I don't advocate for the fact that we're a therapist. We are not. You need to go to the right person for that. You get to steam off, you get to let off, and you get to also have a good result in the end when it comes to the service that you're getting. So it's a total package, and I love being able to provide value in that area because it makes me feel great. It makes me feel more valuable as well as a person, because while we're empowering, we feel empowered doing that. So that's basically a huge thing for me in the beauty industry.
Right. I totally agree with what she's saying. It feels amazing when somebody sends you their transformation pictures after using the products. That is what keeps me going, honestly. Just hearing my customers' reviews, seeing that I have helped them build their confidence, especially when it comes from stories like they're afraid to go out in public and things like that, because I have experienced that. The Organic started because I was looking for solutions for myself, and there was a point in my life when I didn't even want to look at myself in the mirror.
Oh wow.
So I know how that feels, and like she said, it's very empowering to empower these women to be their best selves and live their best lives.
And also I want to add, especially with our industry and dealing with women specifically who would sometimes, I guess, with you, share their story, share what they're going through. You're also able to mentor in that light, to track back on the question that you would have asked and help them to get wisdom in certain things that they're experiencing. And that for me is also an amazing experience.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So you get to build women up in the process.
Yes.
So, yeah, so women are doing it. Women are doing it.
Most definitely.
Yes.
What would you say to your 18-year-old self? I know that you said, you know, you had a job before 8 to 4, 8 to 5 before becoming an entrepreneur, but you have been doing it for your entire life.
Yours too?
Actually, so I think this would be more for you. Like, what would you say to your 18-year-old self? And you can answer because I'm interested.
To my 18-year-old self, I would say, like you guys were saying earlier, take up space. You are doing yourself and society a disservice by hiding your talents, and you have a unique perspective to share, and you should do that. So that's the advice that I would give to myself, as well as persevere. There are going to be tough times, but you are going to get through it. Walk by faith, not by sight. You have to keep going, because sometimes it looks like there's no way out, but you have to keep going. But even though I had an 8 to 4, I honestly wouldn't change a thing, because I think that's what led me to this point. Everything happens for a reason. Everybody has a journey to take. Everybody's journey is going to look differently. So I wouldn't change a thing. I'm happy with where I am.
Well, my 18-year-old self was living life, enjoying everything that and to be quite honest, I wasn't one of those persons who, as much as people think that I was very much business oriented and what's not, I wasn't focused on business the way I think I am now. So I wouldn't change that, but I would tell her that you have a lot in store and you are going to make moves and do so much more than what you're currently doing. And I'm happy that I took the time to enjoy and be my young self. But I would definitely say that you have a lot in store, and keep your head on, because definitely focus will take you to some great places.
Higher heights.
Higher heights, always.
Well, thank you so much for joining us in the Youth Lounge. We hope to see you soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We will be back from a commercial break, but don't forget, it's a woman's world. Take up space.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see, and the climate's changing.
But hope is remaining.
And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind, because we are one climate.
Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.
Hello and welcome to Event Extraordinaire. Today we wanted to introduce you to our sparkler boxes. Our sparkler boxes are customized to fit any occasion. And today we wanted to show you what exactly comes in a themed party sparkler box. So here goes! Each sparkler pack contains enough items to have a party for 6 persons. So in addition to all the regular parts that come with a sparkler party, as in the cups, the spoons, the plates, and even the horns, we wanted to let you know that you also get masks, you get invitations, there are party hats, there's even a party banner, there's your usual loot bags, you get a tablecloth, and you even get blowers. Our sparkler boxes are available in a variety of themes. There's Spider-Man, Frozen, Paw Patrol, Minnie Mouse, Peppa Pig, any theme that you can imagine, Events Extraordinaire is here to supply. Please visit us today. We are located in Camps next to the 24-hour gas station. Our numbers are 767-6977 or 663-6227. Events Extraordinaire. Let's add the sparkle to your event.
Well, unfortunately, we're at the end of today's show, but don't forget, we'll be back next month, the last Monday of next month, for another enticing show. So be sure to tune in to SKNYPA's social media platforms as well as ZIZ's social media platforms. But before we go, we can't forget to thank Events Extraordinaire for this wonderful set design, as she has been doing from the start of this show. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. And it's Malaika.
And it's Shosania.
Signing out. But don't forget, it's a woman's world. Take up space.
Grab it.
Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.